Today is June 29th. I'm Reyna Revelle. Thank you very much for joining us on this Thursday morning. Glad to have you with us. And we begin with breaking news overnight. The Mineola Country Club caught on fire earlier this morning. We now have morning co-anchor Tyler Henderson joining us live from the scene this morning. Tyler, what exactly are you seeing and hearing from officials on scene right now? Andrew, thank you. Right now, more than 1,000 power outages have been reported in East Texas. And we do want to clarify that the people who have been charged so far include their former police chiefs, several former officers, and the former mayor of Coffee City, Frank Serrato. A big update this morning about a story we first told you about overnight. Renters who are facing eviction from their Tyler apartment say there might be a solution on the horizon. Well, I wonder what happened to the money that was paid.
I know.
So what happens? I mean, if they're making them pay the full balance,
right.
Where did the other money go? President Biden has directed his administration to send all federal firefighting assets to Canada. Nathaniel Moran says he's had enough, saying his resolution makes it very clear that President Biden's border policies are a, quote, national security risk on American soil. This building may not look like much on the outside, but on the inside it houses the Fostering Collective, a lifeline for both adoptive families and foster children. Some of the proposed budgets include $585,000 for repairs and upkeep of 14 miles of these historic brick streets. As you can see behind me, Justin Howe battled the flames that were just inches away from the Montouse's back porch. On our way over to the scene, there was a lot of flooding and hydroplaning happening on highways around this area. Talk about the importance of driving slowly during this time. He was not aware that this tree had fallen outside of his home. Residents in the area share if they had heard the tornado sirens, they would have taken cover instead of being stuck by debris in their driveways. Now, most boating fatality victims are recovered not wearing a personal flotation device. So whether you know how to swim or not, always wear a life jacket. Norma Kennedy bought an abandoned storage unit, and what she found was shocking. 100 years worth of artifacts and memories left behind. Now meet the family who traveled over 1,500 miles to recover what's been lost. Thursday at 9.
It's just unexplainable.
A special meeting months in the making.
The Wright family reunion, 1999.
In May, Norma Kennedy reached out to Fox 51 News, hoping to get help finding the Wright family. After days of going through photos and documents, a breakthrough happened.
I got a text from my cousin down near Bastrop, and it was a video clip of you interviewing Norma, and she's holding the picture of Ben, my Uncle Ben, and Jesse, and I go, that's my Uncle Ben. And so I I listened to the article, and it said, go to the website to find I look at my girlfriend and said, this is my Uncle Ben.
Thrilled by the discovery, Gary immediately picked up the phone to call his cousin Artie after not speaking to him for decades.
The Wright family, they moved around, but they mainly lived in the Ennis area. My grandfather was a cattle rancher down there, and then the family settled around there, and they just kind of, as time progressed around, I ended up with my dad and our family. We ended up living in the Fort Worth area.
The early days of the Wright family were spent in Texas, but over time they lost connection with each other. Gary now lives in Arizona, while the rest live in Montana and Oregon, excited to reconnect with his cousin Artie.
To me, it was exciting to talk to him because I had not talked to him since the 60s. He left Texas, and I'm not sure all the what took him out of there or why, and he ended up, last I heard, he was living in Yaak, Montana, which is 17 miles from the Canadian border.
Could you speak on his behalf on how he may be feeling right now, just knowing that you're down here today?
I think he'd be excited too. This history, that someone has got this history and it's going to get it back into his hands.
Miss Kennedy was never able to experience going through old photos with her family. Now, here at this table, she has become an honorary member of the Wright family.
It was as if I had found a long-lost family of my own. This has just been a blessing for me to know that there are families out there still that has and want family.
And as the branches on the tree continue to grow, what was lost now has a new beginning.
And today, I am a right family member.
We have adopted you.
And I thank you.
It's a pleasure.
As East Texas gathers to celebrate this cherished Tyler tradition, Latino countries will be represented at the 90th Texas Rose Festival Parade, part of the work and creativity of Monarca Initiative.
So we saw a need in the immigration community, and there was a need in the sense of they didn't know where to find resources out in the community, and you know there's a lot of resources out there. So we have citizenship classes, we have GED in Spanish courses too, and then we have workshops.
The group of women is known for its hands-on approach in supporting immigrants through their overall metamorphosis into life in the U.S. Not just helping others adjust, but also celebrating their heritage as they establish their roots in East Texas.
I didn't know English when I came. It was just like basic, very little things. But I had to learn the language. I had to learn how to navigate the different cultures. I had to understand that not everyone is from the same place.
This group saw this year's tribute float for the parade as an opportunity to show the diversity within the Hispanic community. Volunteers, many of whom were immigrants themselves, will proudly represent their home country, bringing a vibrant display of over 20 Latino countries.
We're going to have, people wearing their traditional clothes. I'm going to be wearing my guasa dress. That's the traditional dress. But we're going to have people from Venezuela, from Peru, from Argentina, Mexico, Belize.
Typically made by hand using colorful seams and embroidery, this dress embodies my family's heritage. Viva Honduras!
In Mexico, there are different states, and every state has its own unique traditional dress. And last year was really emotional for me to see all the countries coming together and celebrate.
And more than just being a parade float, it's a symbol of their journey, struggles, and triumphs.
I'm excited that we get to kind of extend the Hispanic Heritage Month a little bit and transfer that energy to the parade.
A reminder of the rich, diverse cultures that make up our nation and the role immigrants play in shaping our country's identity and the East Texas community. Viva la Rosa! See you there! Chief became a therapet in February of 2020 to start helping families just weeks before the lockdown.
Chief is the most gentle, slow-moving pet, loving.
On December 6th, off of East Side Road in Tyler, the chocolate Labrador was shot. He was on his family's large property.
I had a neighbor called that he thought that Chief had been hit, and Doug was just in the pasture. We live on 70 acres. And this is just a few hundred yards from our house, and Doug walked over to get him.
Chief was not known to hang out by the road. Instead, he enjoyed being around the Melling family out in the pasture.
Everybody that knows him loves him, so we never considered that there was any kind of foul play. But when we took him to the vet and she did an x-ray to make sure that we didn't have any broken bones, she discovered that he had been shot, and shot at close range.
Before this, neighbors had seen similar cases. Other dogs in the area had gone missing, warning the family to keep an extra eye out for their pets.
It was a special animal that was absolutely unbelievable. He was, I don't know how you can explain the perfect dog.
For their daughter Alex, Chief was her best friend, helping her get through difficult times of anxiety.
I just lost it. I said, no, this cannot be happening. This is a nightmare.
The Mellings left torn as to why their gentle, loving dog was killed. Now they are offering a $10,000 reward.
I feel like we're going to catch whoever did this. I really want to talk to the guy, maybe a little more than talk to him.